I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. All I know is that I need to record a podcast.
Welcome back to Larps and Tarps.
Welcome back, LARPers, Tarpers, and the Anders.
The Anders. Fuck yes, love it.
Well, within the LARPs and Tarps, I had to do the LARPs and Tarps.
No, it's valid. It's valid. I forget that our little subsect of fans are people who froth for and content, to be fair.
Oh no, now we have to do an episode. Chloe, what have you done?
And then you get the weirdos that are really into the ampersands.
Oh. Yeah. Well, the ampersand purists, because technically we
Guys,
use
don't
ampersand.
shame the audience.
What if
See,
they like
this is
it?
why I don't do intros. I derail already.
No, it's beautiful. We love it. We love it. No, I'm not going to say that. Sorry, please carry on.
It's not as bad as Tom's.
No, it's just true.
I love a bit of derailing.
Fucking two-gun Tommy.
2T Tommy.
2T Tommy. Tutti frutti.
Yeah, fun fact for the listeners, Tom has 2 cups of tea when we play D&D.
At once.
At
by
once,
the
at a
way.
time.
Yeah, like
And then
Billy
gets
won't
another
stop
I feel like-
throwing it in twos.
I feel like having 2 cups of tea in a row is fine. That's like an acceptable level.
No, but
of
having
tea.
them at the same
But
time.
having them simultaneously is pretty
And then
wild. Dom. You have to
an hour-
slow it down.
An hour or
Look
so
out.
later, he gets another 2 cups of tea.
That was I was going to say it wasn't the most chaotic thing I've ever seen, but certainly like delivering a monologue as a DM and then watching 2 mugs arrive full of tea to one person was a moment where I was like, hang on, I need this explaining.
What am I doing here?
Anyway, now that you've got that little fun fact about Tom, so we're just going to be talking about Sunday.
I had some lovely interactions with some lovely friends on Saturday, but I feel like they are more appropriate to be kept quiet because it was nice little emotional RP. So if I haven't mentioned anything, it's because it was intentional, I promise.
If I haven't mentioned anything, it's because I forgot, and I'm sorry.
It's because of who I am as a person.
And the fact that this was a month ago now.
Oh my God.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
3 weeks to Empire.
Yeah, I was going to say, the fact that it was so long ago means we're closer to the
Oh
next
my
one.
God.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Just wait to the long dark, Chloe.
No. No.
Yeah, but then it's player event season. Yeah, Sunday.
Sunday.
How are you feeling on Sunday morning, Chloe?
I felt horrific. Like,
On a scale of 1 to dead, how horrific? You were rotting in a ditch for 2 weeks? Horrific?
yeah, like not even...
No, but I feel very sorry for you if you had a hangover on Saturday because Sunday was disgusting. It was so hot.
Hottest day of the year, I think, so far.
Was it?
So you felt like death warmed up.
I was death boiling. I wasn't just warmed up, I was boiling.
Death sizzling under the grill.
Yeah.
I do remember you just peeling your face off the floor of the tent, like bright red eyes.
Oh, that is...
And we were just like, Chloe, don't go monstering. It's fine.
You might die.
I've got to as my
You are
civic
dying.
duty.
She did the right thing.
Chloe.
She
I did.
marched up and gave a good show.
Kill some fucking Imperials.
I don't... Honestly, it was such a shit show. Like,
Oh, well.
What time did you wake up before battle? Was it like, oh shit, I'm running late, or did you manage to get to at least good time?
it was like
It was
half
good
eight.
half an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
fair
like 8:30. Alex, you made me a tea as well, and I was just like, I think I managed about 3 sips before I was like, I just can't even handle this. But I managed to do my makeup.
I like how you get makeup on before a battle. I'd sweat that shit off straight
Yeah,
away.
well, I mean, it's purely just because why do I do it? I don't know. But it was quite funny because obviously my tattoo's on my chin, and that's how people were able to identify me because the alt masks are too big because I've got a really small head and a really small face. So where the like mouth holes are cut out, it's like sits at my chin. If I want it to sit, if I want to see, then it sits down at my chin. So everyone was like, I know it's you because I can see your tattoo through the mouth hole. And I was like, but that's also how you know that I can't fucking breathe. Because I was breathing, the mask was just going. So I'm trying to
must have
breathe.
been great
So
for
not
that
only was I
hangover.
hungover and it was baking, I just couldn't bloody breathe.
Oxygen deficiency as well.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'll get more into that disgustingness in a little bit. But before I start rambling and making everyone cringe, how was everyone else's Sunday morning?
Mine was great because I didn't fight, because I don't fight. And I just went to the shelter of the Dread Shield camp, found out that's the coolest place at Anvil when it's a hot day.
Interesting. Good to
I
know.
think so. I mean, no, it's awful. It's really warm.
Yeah, no, it's shit.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's gross. No, but that was a really nice place to chill.
Guess I know where I'm moving the jackdaw spot.
Yeah.
Just
The tree
colonise
line
league.
is nice, and
Not
they had
the league,
comfy
colonise
chairs.
Navarre.
They had comfy chairs, and I was just like, "This is great. This is where I live now." And I just waited there till the battle rolled over, till people started arriving back. Then I was like, "Guess I should go to make sure no one's dead." But yeah, well, how did the battle go, guys?
So obviously Tom and I are both mustering in Dawn, right? Because
Dawn.
Dawn. Because you're now contracted. One of the mercenaries contracted with Dawn.
One of the many. There's
One of the
quite
many,
a few
yeah.
mercenary
Merc City.
companies.
But yeah, so we kind of mustered up for battle, kind of usual fare. I'm being the literal hero that I am, made camp breakfast.
Yeah, I saw you making camp breakfast because we marched up good and early, so we were well in time to march off.
Literally every time I've done it, it's been squeaky bum time because I'm making breakfast as quick as I can, but I've got to get ready for battle.
Did you remember to have your pre-battle poop?
Well, I then had to go for my pre-battle poo, obviously.
What is squeaky bum time? Is that what?
Squeaky bum time, you know when you're at the edge of your seat and it's like squeaking because you're nervous? That's
Okay.
what squeaky
Cutting
bum
it really
time.
fine.
It's like, cutting it really
Oh,
fine.
I thought
Like
it meant
things
you
are
were
really...
shitting yourself.
No.
Like, not
no.
literally, but like.
No, squeaky bum time means it's like tense. Like
Yeah,
you're-
yeah,
and
that-
you've
yeah,
you
like
cut
you're
it
shitting
fine.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I pooped myself. But what was really fun was...
I feel sorry for your squire when they have to clean your armor after every battle.
I am my squire.
I mean, you cook breakfast for everyone else, so why
Yeah,
would
look at
someone
me.
clean your armor for you?
Camp cook. I don't think I can do that at E3. Which
Camp
sucks.
bitch.
No.
That's offended to bitches everywhere. And if you listeners are watching, Morgan is not happy.
Yeah, the listeners aren't watching, Tom.
If the listeners are watching, I'd
The
be
window.
fucking
Oh, is
concerned.
that you? Get out my garden.
Get out of here.
Get out of my
So what
tent.
was really fun though was as it was getting time to muster. So as we kind of, I think we spoke about the fact that the marchers were upset with the fact that they weren't going to Brega's land. I think was it Brega's
Yes,
land?
Breggers. Get the Fisher.
To kill Matilda Fisher. So there was a lot of uproar about that. But the Dornish generals had voted to support the marchers in that. And we had kind of been saying that we want to help the marchers. We really appreciated everything they've done for Dorne in the conquest of the barons. And there was like a nice level of friendship between the two, these two arguing sibling nations. And as we're kind of getting ready, a beautiful line of marcher soldiers starts making their way up the camp. So there's this kind of one of these big paths that goes up into Dawn from like the rest of camp towards where the Brass Coast is, and obviously the marchers beyond that. And they're all marching up with their banners in their armor, and they all it was beautiful to see all these marchers gathered in Glory Square.
It was amazing.
Oh.
I saw it from the opposite angle from you because Cordraco's Bar Wise guys is up the opposite end.
It was so beautiful, and it was very much like, again, I don't know if I got the wrong end of the stick here, but it at least felt like they were saying, "We're here to help Dawn. That's why we're going today, because we're here to help you."
I got like the impression it's like never say a marcher never does their duty to their nation and their empire.
It wasn't that, because they weren't casting shade on the marchers that weren't going, because they very much a lot of the marchers I spoke to were like, we understand why they're not going. They feel slighted. They feel like they've lost. Like, I think someone insinuated that they shouldn't go because it was a waste of money, which did not go. So basically the marchers were kind of like, we get why they're not going, but we're coming to support you. And it was this real beautiful moment of Dawn and the marchers. Like, people have had like animosity for hundreds of years and have like a bit of a rivalry, being like, we are, at the end of the day, we're cousins, we're siblings, and we'll fight together. And it was like a really nice kind of poignant moment, which like defines a lot of like, it's like the kind of the current mood around the Empire at the minute is that Dawn and marchers are getting on. Don't know how long it'll last, but at least for now.
It was like a mini equivalent of like Gondor calls the raid.
Yeah.
And Rohan will answer.
Just the marchers kind of marching back to Dawn. But it was beautiful. From there, got girded. Esty helped me get dressed. Esty gave me a favour to take into the battle. And then we got ready to go to the Sentinel Gate. Was there anything you did before we headed up, Tom?
Well, I girded up like an hour before you. Like, this being our first professional mercenary battle, we wanted to be there in good time. So I think we were there from like 10 in the morning, just chilling around Cordraco.
In your armour.
In armour.
Oh, my brother in virtue.
Full clank.
As I said last episode, most of us jackdaws dress in black. So with the sun coming
rough,
down,
dude.
with heavy armour, it wasn't nice.
Grim.
I've got to applaud the benches at Empire, though. I don't know how they support all that armoured weight.
Wise guys.
Or just any bench
Just
at
any
Empire.
bench, yeah. I've sat in chairs like very slowly, like Creak. And you're like, okay, all right, we're okay.
It's going down.
Hardest working furniture in the Empire.
Oh, definitely. I did get a potion from one of my jackdaws that gave me an extra rank in fortitude.
Oh, yeah, continue. So, what was your bleed count?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm slowly working. That's my game now.
You're working up to having a bleed count that lasts the entire weekend.
Yeah. I want people to go home from Empire. I just camped there for 6 weeks. It's like, still technically on my bleed count.
Still counting. We're still all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so just prepping. We were going over battle strategy, getting to know who Core Draco were. So, like, pointing out faces. Who's the healers? Who are the artisans? Who can fix what? One of the Core Dracos gave me a potion of strength as well, which gives me an extra hero point back. So I was...
Filter of strength, I think, isn't it?
Filter of strength, yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Looking through my little pouch, seeing how protected I am. Of like, have I got enough healies on me? Enough blood harrow filters for that Drugish miasma?
I've not had a single Druge venom me.
I've never had a Druge.
Never had it.
We're painting a massive target on our backs now.
Yeah, true. Apart from that fucking venom sensor that we had.
I wasn't there for that.
Fuck, that was intense. But yeah, I'm usually not venomed by Druge.
No. When the marchers came up, I did find it hilarious because they also have a battle whistle apparently and tend to like to blow it in freeze, which for Jackdaw codes is Modesto's down, go and save him.
That's very funny.
So as soon as they did that whilst they were marching into the glory square, it's like, oh god, Modesto's down! And like 5 people jump at him just jokingly. So that was pretty fun. It was just a nice, chilled, sunny day before the battle. The muster was quite cool, though, marching out with Dawn for the first time.
Yeah. I'm biased, but marching out of Dawn is fucking good.
Morgan biased towards Dawn?
But isn't
Who would
it,
have fucking thought?
Isn't it good? Isn't it good?
Having only marched out with the national block, seeing how many more of you there is. Like, there's a few hundred of you. There was 40 of us.
It's like the fucking all the colours, the shining of the metal. Oh, I love it. Absolutely.
To me, it was weird going in like second onto the battlefield. Like, usually the block is on last.
Yeah.
So going on second, it was great. Turns out we were in the wrong place for the muster, though. So we had to like be pushed through so we can get close to the front, to which I think we end up just in front of you.
Yes, you did, because I shouted at you and you didn't hear me.
I didn't notice you at all.
Yeah, I was next to
Luther, you said?
your Mero, yeah.
My Mero man.
Mero man.
My little blue boy.
Little blue boy. Whilst we were in the queue, someone was coming with the water. Before I got into my kit as well, Emma got like a bucket of water and like poured it all over my gambeson. So it was like soggy, which was really good. It was nice. And then the same thing happened when we were in the queue. They're like, does anyone want water pouring down their backs? And we're like, yes. And they were just kind of pouring water over on, which was very fucking needed.
There was a lovely bloke handing out honey and salt sandwiches, which hit the spot.
Honey and salt sandwiches?
Well, that's what they say you need for energy, isn't it?
Oh,
Honey
no,
and
I'm
salt.
not.
And it's
I mean, I can imagine that tastes quite
free
nice.
of charge as well.
Fuck yeah.
The man's a hero.
It was beautiful. There's a wonderful picture of me, James, who plays John.
The most handsome man in the
The most
Empire, you
handsome man in
say?
the Empire. And then the third person who I don't think I have permission to talk about on the podcast, but a changeling friend of mine. And there's this really funny picture as we're marching in. And it's very much the picture of 2 changelings and John, who's unlineaged, where like I've got like a massive smile on my face as I'm singing. The other changeling I'm with is like beaming with a smile. And then John just looks confused. He's just like, what's going on? It's a very beautiful picture. But yes, that was Mustard. March through the gate. Did you get up to anything, Kerry, whilst we were battling?
As I said, I literally just hung around in the
You
Dread
just
Shield
kind of
camp
fucking chilled
with
out.
one of my
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
And we just chatted because it was just too hot to do anything.
It was, in a word, disgusting.
It was gross, yeah.
I must admit, and this is a kind of running theme for my whole weekend, is my brain is pretty soupy after the battle. Like when we were marching through the woods, because we kind of, when you come onto the field, you've got the big open field in front of you, to your left, there's all the woods. We just walked straight through those woods. The objective for us was to kill as many Druge as possible, because if we killed 600, I think we flipped the Barons.
It's basically the dream objective of Chloe. Just kill. No strategy. Kill as many as you can.
But then there was also a bunch of troubadours who were going to be sacrificed to Agromant. And I was told that if they had been sacrificed on the field whilst we were all there, Agromant heralds would have been released onto the battlefield.
Remind listeners who Agroman is, please.
Agromant is a winter eternal. He is also known, he's known as by various names, one of which is Blood on the Snow. I think one is the Endless Hunger. He's basically the worst eternal. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that, or one of. He is Endless Hunger. His occultists are cannibals. They do everything they can to kill and eat and maim. Like, he's an incredibly cruel eternal. And
They're just people from Manchester.
fucking hell. So we've moved on from insulting fictional demographics, and we're just moving on to different counties and cities.
I'm a Yorkshire boy now. I used to be from Lancashire.
Turncoat. But basically, no good. He's actually, so Semasuak, which is a Wintermark territory, was temporarily lost by the Empire, and the Jotun didn't defend it against Agromant. So we've got full of Agromant cultists. So there's like a bunch of Agromant cannibals just running around in Imperial territory. But that was going to be a problem. So basically, we marched on the field, started cutting through, and just, I think it was someone was saying the music that was playing in everyone's ears was Rip and Tear from the Doom original soundtrack. I don't know how much of that we could put in as a clip, but it's, if you want to listen to Rip and Tear from the Doom original soundtrack, that's basically everyone's mind was just tearing through, just ripping and shredding and killing as many fucking Druids.
No.
Yeah. What did you get up to then, Tom? How was your battle?
Oh, my battle was fun. Like, we were meant to be up front with you guys, but somehow we managed to convert Cordraco from frontline fighters into skirmish fighters, fighting like proper soldiers in the league. We couldn't find the house that were meant to be like leading the charge to the troubadours, so we just ended up doing flanking maneuvers and protecting the back line, which I think is a very useful duty. I think they said, didn't say, but it came apparent, Dawn, you don't just move forward, you've got to protect your rear as well.
That's what you're there for.
Well, yeah, now we are. Now you've hired the professionals to protect the rear. Or attack the rear, whichever you prefer.
The professional backdoors.
Backdoors.
The back doors.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of our time just going around flanks, hitting the Druge where they were weakest, protecting the back lines, making sure they didn't come and advance on your rear, so you could fight unimpeded and just keep slaughtering. We had a lot of fun. Cordraco said we were a bargain mercenary company, and that's not just me bragging.
Well, you know what that means. Up your prices next time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Don't be described as a bargain.
The bargain bin mercs. No, it was a very fun fight. I did enjoy it being super straightforward. And it was a pleasure to fight in a battle which was a breeze compared to the last time of holding that fucking radio. It felt like as a skirmishing mercenary company, we could do what we wanted to do and what we were best at rather than just being put in one place and holding the lines.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I've fought in a battle as the League, we haven't been able to do that because we've been put on line holding duty.
Yeah.
So it was nice to just, unless it was that time where I pulled my ankle and couldn't go on the battlefield.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
So it was nice to spread my wings and get to poke people with my halberd. I think I turned very hateful, though. I was shouting some very bad obscenities at those Druge.
No, that's fair enough. They're Druge. Fuck them.
I was like looking in the eyes like, you're going to the abyss. And I fucking can't wait to see you there.
I do love hating the Druge. Virtuously, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Very virtuous.
No death to the Druge, of course.
No, here, not in my good virtuous household. No, loyalty to the Empire.
No. Somehow, though, those tricky Dornish, I think there was House Tallstag managed to get us to do a glory charge.
Based.
We don't do glory charges. We're leaguers, we're clever. But when they cast some type of ritual that empowers 12 of your members to do any call on your weapons, we couldn't wait to get in there.
There's nothing better than an empowered member.
Oh yeah, an empowered member with a true thrust.
So once again, I have to ask, not biased. Glory charges are good fun, aren't they?
It was good fun. Unfortunately, though, Modesto got the Druge I was aiming for because there was only one that had an armored chest. I want to use Impale the Halberd.
Yeah,
got there before me, so it was just another strike down. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good.
But that was basically our battle: protecting Cordraco, sticking together at unit, hitting flanks, taking names, and protecting your arse.
Nice.
That bastard Marcus in the national block also struck me down again. It's like, that might become a thing.
Who?
My mate Marcus in the national block, the
Oh,
one who
okay.
struck me down as a Yagara the previous
Struck
day,
you down.
also struck me down as a Druge.
There was obviously we were waiting to figure out what we were doing because you get on the field and you're there waiting for like 40 minutes before you actually do anything.
Yeah, monstering. Waiting for monstering to kick off takes ages.
Especially in that sun.
So we were, like I said, the person that was the leader of our little unit that we were fighting in was the person that played the Herald that we killed, or that Murdoch killed the day previous. So we were kind of chatting. We were like, "Oh, hey, it's you," and we're kind of having a little talk, and that was really cool. But for the majority of it, I was just laying on the floor with my orc mask kind of resting on the top of my head on the floor, looking up at the sky, going, "What the fuck have I done? Why am I doing this to myself?"
Hang on, were you wearing your orc mask before the Imperials were on the field?
No, it was just like on the top of my head, like yeah.
So the amount of people I see putting their orc masks on,
I
I'm
was like,
get
just
off.
take it off.
Get it off.
Especially in
My
that
mask isn't
yeah.
on until I can hear the Imperials. Or
Yeah.
someone says, right, mask's on, because I'm like, I'm going to die.
Yeah. So it was kind of like I'd put it on and then like pulled it off, so it was just like hanging off the top of my head. And I was just laying on the floor under this tree, like the shade, just like, what is going on? Like, I'm not okay. And then we were posted. As you come onto the field, obviously you've got the woods on the left, but then you've got that big open space on the right. And then there's a couple of random trees. We were kind of posted in between a couple of those trees, so we were just out in the open. And I'm like, okay, well, we're all just gonna die.
Yeah, you're like, this is the end. Oh,
Yeah, I was like, that's cool, means I can go sit down. And then pretty much everyone in my military unit, or the unit we were fighting in, got killed, stood at respawn for a bit, and we were like, oh, hey, you're here. Oh, hey, you're here too. And we realised that the majority of the unit were there, like, that's cool, that's fine.
Hi, friends.
Oh, so no, I didn't actually die. Most of them were dead, but I'd got lost and I'd got trapped at the bridge. And then there was, like, people walking, obviously, with their hands up to, like, get past, but then there was people still pushing at the bridge as well. So I was like, I'm either going to get killed because people are in front of me pushing, or there's people behind me walking. I was like, I physically cannot move. Like, I'm not in just, like, I was like, I'm going to get really claustrophobic and freak out here. So I was like, fuck it. So I just put my hand up and just started to walk with all these people. So, yeah, I didn't actually die, but I was just like...
You killed yourself.
Yeah. After, honestly, it was probably like 3 or 4 minutes. We weren't there for too long. We were sent back in, and then we were in the forest. We were curving round the back somewhere, and I don't know, we just got absolutely fucked over again. And then I got beaten down.
Were you facing off against Dawn?
Yeah.
Were they fighting with the insanity that everyone's told me they were?
So, yeah, that's what I was just about to move on and say. So, we were fighting a dog, so I recognised a couple of the people. So, like, we got hit down and killed and whatever. We were on the floor, but they had, like, backed us into this bramble bush. So, it was really difficult and really horrible anyway. But no one was putting their blows. Like, they were really aggressively hitting.
Boo.
And then...
I meant in character. I didn't know they were actually being...
Oh, yeah, no. Like, in character, terrifying. But OC... Yeah, like, no, I don't think I got hit with a single pulled blow. But I think it's probably they were the 4 people that were kind of like, there was about 6 people. And there was only about 4 of us that ended up in this little corner. Because like I said, they backed us into this bramble bush. So we were pretty trapped anyway. Like, we couldn't actually move. Yeah, they were just like really into it. I think they were just like really like gassed. They were like, yeah, we got them. And... yeah, so I think that kind of just like took over, which whatever.
But then a lot of adrenaline hits and you're in the moment.
I feel like that fish from SpongeBob, where it's like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson?
Oh man, yeah.
Having to say, pull your fucking blows. Pull your fucking blows.
And then someone looted me, and I obviously didn't realise that I had my character blade with my princess blade on, so they looted my ribbon.
That was really sad. It makes me
I
sad
didn't,
to hear that.
I didn't know that I could say, oh, this is my character's weapon, and that they couldn't take it, so I gave it to them.
I'm sure the Dread Shields will give you a new one.
Oh, it's fine.
Or Sugar Daddy Otis will just give you some sausage money.
That sausage bread.
It still bonded to me. I mean, but
Fun out.
Is it like a phantom limb? You're just like, I could cleave.
You can still
but I
feel the
can't.
But the
magical
thing, I
connection.
spent so long trying to get it bonded. Like, how long was I running around trying to find like the egregore or a ref, someone to register it, and then getting Con to do the actual ritual and things like that. Like, it was probably about an hour and a half of me actually running around Empire. I literally ran up to God, ran through Navarre.
You know, you can just go to God and get it done, don't you?
What
I think you just need a
you need,
artisan to do it.
You know, a mage. Take a mage and
yeah.
go to God.
So, but then. Yeah, but there was like a pretty hefty queue at God as well.
Wow.
But like, I was physically running around. Like, I was actually running around the whole of Anvil trying to find like a ref or someone, and then trying to find the egregore of Navarre. Finally got it done, and I didn't even get to use it once. I didn't cleave once.
Guess what you can do next time?
Not
It
cleave.
all over again.
How much are these ribbons, these cleavability ribbon things?
The apprentice blade. It's only like a couple of crowns.
An apprentice's blade takes 2 months to craft and requires no materials. So, like, a couple of crowns is probably accurate, but it depends who you speak to. I guess,
Okay.
with most things. Well, I'm
So-
getting an apprentice's blade next event, and I know someone that can make them if you want me to.
Your sass face, Chloe.
Never mind,
I'm
Chloe.
sorry.
I am not going to help you.
I'm sorry, Morgan. I take it back. I realised I did it before I realised you were actually doing something nice to me. I thought you were just going to be like, oh, well, I'm getting an apprentice blade. I'll be like, oh, okay,
You salty little.
bitch.
I hope I'm getting the name right. But if you talk to the Guild Della Trema or someone like that in the lead, they do the fancy
Pay for
magazines,
installments.
the pay of installments, the magical weapons. It might be worth going to talk
Yeah,
to those
there is
guys.
someone who literally does fucking Klarna for magic items.
Amazing. I actually might go and
Yeah.
see what they've got. But yeah, so got looted, sat on the floor for a little bit, realised I was too hot, and then went back to respawn, and they were like, yeah, so no more respawns. This was only after about 20 minutes. No, actually,
Yeah.
it was definitely way more. Though. It was about
About
half.
45.
It was about half an hour.
Yeah.
What
Actually, no, because we were only sat under the tree for about a quarter of an hour. So yeah, I don't know.
was it you
Oh,
or
God.
Emma who says we marched out and you were surprised at how back quickly the Imperial Army were back, Kerry?
I think it was Emma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy how likely we were literally out. So yeah, we were literally. I'm very sorry to hear that you had you were physically beaten.
It's fine.
But I did hear everyone was basically like Dawn were fucking rabid dogs by the sounds of it, just because it was like trying to get the Barons back. So absolutely kind of tearing through it, destroying our way through Druge. We came across the troubadours that were being sacrificed to Agromant, and we stopped them being sacrificed, but we weren't able to stop them from dying, if that makes sense. They weren't able to finish the ritual, but the people were like terminal when we got to them. And we found one, and we noticed they all had different instruments. Their names were different instruments. And we found one, and we laid them to rest. And then we found another. And then one of the people in our group kind of turns around and is like, does this feel like a breadcrumb trail to you? Does this feel like we're just going right into a trap? And everyone was like, fuck yeah, it does a little bit. And they were like, right, I'm going to leave this decision in the hands of the Lance, of all of you. We are going into a trap. Do we walk into the trap? And everyone was like, yeah. And he was like, good, let's go. And we just kept going. And it was just a real cool moment where it was like, are we going to be sneaky and think our way and try and outwit them? No, we're going to go into the jaws of said trap and break it from the inside. So it was like a real cool, like as we start to march through, and obviously we can find these dying Dornish troubadours who've been tortured by the Druge. Had a great time cutting them to shit, cutting to ribbons. Took a little bit of a break because again it was very fucking hot. Kind of marching our way through, and then again we've been on the battlefield for 45 minutes, and someone goes, "We've done it. We've killed them. We've done it. We've flipped the Barons." And we were like, "That was the quickest fucking battle I've ever been on."
I don't know. There was the time we monitored E3 last year.
Well, okay. It was the quickest battle I've ever fought on the good side of. Yeah, nice, swift battle, over and done with. Going back, knowing that the Barons was now in Imperial territory was a beautiful high.
I don't know if we won so well because the Dornish were rabid dogs
Oh.
or the Druge were dying from heat frustration in those masks.
It's definitely because orcs don't do well in the heat.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Except Imperial orcs who just smash through anything, you chads.
Yeah.
Oh,
couldn't
mad
be.
respect for them and their kit.
Jesus.
Like, it's
Yeah.
got to be
I-
so grim. Like,
I've-
we're moaning, and
Yeah, I saw an Imperial Orc at the first aid tent who was like real fucked up from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cases of heat exhaustion, especially on that Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love the picture of one of my jackdaws looking like a model, really handsome, marching off from the battle, and it's me just like looking at the camera like, don't you dare, like I'm gonna fucking pass out from heat exhaustion.
It was. There was a little bit where I was went to run through the woods and my head just started swimming. I went, oh, yeah, all right, we're gonna walk because I just couldn't. I was like, no, you've not had enough water. You are too hot. I was like, we're gonna walk. We're gonna walk. It was fucked. But yeah, we came back. Browns was in Imperial territory. Very fucking exciting. And yeah, headed back to camp. Had a bit of a glorious chant. Very happy. No one in the lance died.
Yeah,
which
all
is
my
nice.
jackdaws survived. I was very proud.
It was beautiful. Dawn seeming very intent on not having a repeat of E4 last year, where we lost so many people. And it was a beautiful beautiful kind of jubilant feeling in the air, but it wasn't over yet because the barons were Imperial, but they didn't necessarily belong to Dawn.
Welcome to the political side of Empire.
This was about to be decided in the Senate, but not quite yet. Was there anything in the kind of tail end of something? Because I think that might be quite fun to finish on. Was like that Senate session.
Can we
Was
jump
there
to you,
anything-
Kerry?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Alex, sorry. Kerry, do you want to...
Well, I was injured,
Oh, you were injured.
so I felt quite bad, but I couldn't fight with the dread shields. Especially bad because I had fought with them on the Saturday morning. But I woke up and I didn't quite feel as bad as Chloe, but physically my leg was...
yeah, you would have done
it
more
was just
injury to
fucked.
yourself.
So I decided to just put a little bandage. Man of the Orc, he had a little bandage, and I put that round. So kind of icy. I was saying they got struck by an arrow, 'cause it sounds a lot cooler than sticking my foot in a hole. But yeah, my leg, I was limping around on it, so I thought I better not push myself, especially in this heat. So yeah, just had a very, very chilled, relaxed time in the shade, which was nice.
It's not worth. I mean, I know there's a social contract, but like,
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
don't want to give yourself a fucked up leg.
Yeah,
you don't want to break your leg or
for
like
laugh,
do like
yeah.
ligament damage or some from like a minor injury, like running around and it's going to make it so much worse.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
I felt guilty, but it made sense.
I just remember Kerry and Jack last year saying, you can take your armor, Tom, but you're fucking not getting onto that battlefield in your brig. You can
Yeah.
monster, but you... I was like, I want to go and fight with the jackdaws.
Yeah, because you damaged. Was it your
Yeah.
ankle that you damaged?
I got
or-
tendonitis in my
Yeah.
ankle.
Yeah, absolutely valid.
It's fine though. I did the fighting for both of us.
You did. Amber, you had 2 swords.
Yeah.
Twice the
that
effort.
counts.
Are you ever tempted to try anything else other than Ambi?
I've thought about it, but whenever we've had this sort of discussion, whenever I play any character that I've played in D&D, I always dual wield, like no matter what class I'm playing. Just to me, fighting only in my head makes sense with 2 swords.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that. But I don't know, maybe a shield, but I feel like I'd be quite restricted with that.
I would love to try great weapon fighting at some
Yeah.
point.
Like, I
have
would
a
like to
massive
try-
fuck-off 2-handed weapon.
I'd like to try a polearm or something just for one, just so I could just stab. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Ambi for.
I might, if I'm ever monstering and you're monstering, if you ever want to borrow my big weapon, feel free.
Yeah, that'd be cool just to try it out.
Yeah, it's a lot
I
of
think
fun.
Would you
tactically,
wanna
I'd
go?
say a halberd is the best weapon that you could use.
There is a meta in the game that a spear with a shield is the best weapon combo you can get.
It
Oh,
really
okay.
is. A shield, and if you've got Impale,
Yeah.
you're done. Like you just could.
I don't think, can you get impale? I don't think you can on a spear. I think it's just great sword. and
No, you
axes.
can.
Oh,
Oh, no, you might be right.
but you've got the reach of a spear.
Yeah,
like,
you've still got the. Yeah, I don't know how Impale
and you can
works.
strike down, I think, as well.
Yeah. What did you get up to, Kerry?
So as I say, I hanging around in the Dread Shield camp until people started to come back. Chatted to the first sort of people to arrive there, and then swiftly went off to go and see if anyone had died during the battle and like whether we'd won or whatever. Because the Dread Shields were monstering, so like I think we'd gathered that it'd gone well for the Empire basically, but didn't know exactly what the costs were in terms of Dawn and the jackdaws. And as I was going off to find out, bumped into a marcher guy that I was talking to last event about Pepe the Squirrel, and he was asking me, "Oh, is Pepe a citizen?" Because he's really invested because he's doing a whole game with like the whole orcs in the Marcher territory and how they want to be
the more
empirical
orcs,
citizens. And so we had a massive conversation about that and whether or not we'd committed heresy, which we hadn't. He seemed justified in saying that because Pepe is only an honorary citizen, it's not, against
like when
the
you give your
rules,
teddy bear a
basically.
passport.
Yeah, basically. Pepe is the mascot of the Splinter Spears, but that's fine. But unfortunately, it didn't mean there was any headway for his cause with the Marcher Orcs, which is a shame. And then we bumped into some other people that I know and talked about those IC plans that I keep referring to that I'm not telling anyone about. Or at
have you
least not
told us about
publicising
this?
on the... You know more than others.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You two don't know because you're invited to the Jackdaws party where it will all
When is it?
come.
We do know.
Do you
told
know?
us?
9 o'clock
okay.
on the Saturday
I
evening.
need to put that.
You don't know everything though. You don't know as much as he does.
No, but
Oh, I don't remember.
yeah.
Save it. Don't tell me. I want to find out on
No,
the
so
Saturday.
you guys are invited to the Jackdaw party on the Saturday night,
Okay.
and then you'll find out my devious plans. Yes,
to
maniacal
sabotage the
laugh.
jackdaws.
Yeah.
she's gonna kill
So
me.
basically, it's an assassination. No, I'm sorry. Anyway,
I'm too stupid to die.
so whilst discussing that, we
You give me like real like Fry from Futurama vibes.
Yeah, I've just got like an axe impaled to my head, like like hammer in my head. Nope, can't die.
There's no
say
brain to
something?
kill.
Oh dear.
and while I
Nietzsche
was
isn't a real person. He's just an idea.
while I was chatting to them, another friend that we know, came over and he was selling bits and bobs, and I bought some like solar powered stones, like they glow in the dark. Like if you have them out in the sun in the
sweet.
day,
Yeah.
they soak up the sun, I guess. And I'm gonna make him. I keep forgetting, but I need to make some kind of necklace so I can carry it around in the day and then have it in the evening. As a glow in the dark necklace sort of thing. Yeah, so after discussing my maniacal plans and spending more in character money, I just went over. Oh yeah, so we bumped into. I think I've bumped into you, Chloe, because obviously we were coming through Navarre anyway. And you also said that things went well, presumably. I'm not sure. Either way, we found out that the Jackdaws didn't die,
Hooray!
and that you didn't
Shit.
die as well, Tristan.
Tristan can't die. He's immortal.
Though I do remember at one point, I think it was actually the Saturday battle that me and Emma were incredibly worried about you because you'd run off without water, and you'd insisted that you couldn't take your water bottle because it was metal and it'd get in the way or it'd be too dangerous on the battlefield. And we were literally sat there the entire time going, I hope he doesn't die, like in real life die.
You need to get a nice little man bag like I do.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
look at that. It's quite funny actually to talk about Tristan being immortal. I was talking to Emma the other night and she was like, doesn't Tristan ever think of X, Y, and Z, in the being surrounded by death and seeing all these things? I was like, Emma, you've misunderstood a really important part of Tristan's character. He doesn't think he's ever going to die.
Yeah.
So like, what if I die won't cross his mind.
I really kind of hope you have that in character moment where where Tristan does die at some point when you're ready, of course. But then you can play that whole like, what's happening?
No.
This is
No.
impossible.
No.
It's not.
I love your idea we were talking about in the van that you don't realise until someone casts whispers through the
Yeah.
gates where it is.
Yeah,
on
I literally think I'm fine until someone casts whispers and I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
you.
Yeah.
Shit. I might have bitten off a little bit more than I could chew.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll get out of this one yet. Yeah.
I've got a backup character ready, and it was kind of dependent on this backup character coming into existence. If Otis ever died, that the Barons be reclaimed
Oh, yeah.
by the Empire.
Oh, yeah.
So now it would even make more sense, but obviously Otis would need to die first.
Yeah.
Let's
We
kill
can
Otis.
arrange it. What was your character idea?
The fun part is where I'm the one who just wants to keep burning through characters, but I'm the only one that doesn't take the battlefield, so I
Yeah.
can't die. So I just want to keep retiring my characters.
Bit of a problem with that.
Yeah, but let's say the last thing that I did on Sunday, really, I think, was I went to Moorish and had some lunch, and literally I was sweating so much in there that I got a napkin and just wiped my forehead, and all the Naga scale face paint came off.
Yeah.
And I can't do this face paint. How please, if you've got face paint for in character stuff, how do you keep it on?
Alcohol based.
Alcohol bait. As in, I
told
need to
you.
buy more
I'll
face paint.
I'll bring my setting spray and
I'll
hairspray
try
next
setting
time.
spray.
So
Yeah.
alcohol based face paint, as I understand it, basically it won't come off if it gets wet, or at least it's more resilient to it. So you need alcohol to get it off.
Yeah, to be fair, I think my face paint's not too bad. It's just that I was already sweating when I was putting it on.
Yeah.
So maybe I just need to not put it on in the tent as much as I don't want,
I apply my spirals with setting spray.
Yeah.
And then spray them
I've heard
with setting spray.
someone told me to use setting spray to like, activate it rather than
Yeah.
using water.
Now, my spirals still came off. But my
Yeah.
spirals came off because I was sweaty, wiped and was really like, oh, I wipe my face. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Then
Yeah,
looked
to be
and
fair,
they
I was
were
avoiding
smeared.
wiping my face
Yeah.
like all weekend.
Well, yeah, it is a pain, but I have spoken to more people about different ways of doing it and better ways to get them to stick on.
Yeah, and also, like, it might not be as big of an issue, at least in the April, like the autumn and winter
Yeah,
events.
yeah.
And it might just be, I might just have to cast, what was it?
Twilight Masquerade.
Twilight Masquerade and the hottest events just to get away from having to do face paint a little bit.
You could always look at and get like different coloured eyeliners. It might take you like a little bit longer to like just hand draw them on, but eyeliners
think,
stay on a bit better than face paint do.
Coal.
I think a
She was
better.
coal.
Yeah, that's clearly
Coal from the fire.
The OG.
Mate, your fucking eye makeup was sick as hell. It just literally.
But if I-
It wasn't even makeup.
Yeah, another thing is prosthetic scales, which stay on
Yeah.
all weekend.
Yes.
Potentially. I don't want to invest the time and money when you know what I'm like with characters, as I say.
Yeah.
But I do like Navarre, and I feel like in terms of the heat, it seems like one of the lightest kits. You can get away with lighter kit than, for example, in
The only lighter one is I was going to say Brass Coast, but
maybe the
Urizen.
Marches.
Urizen.
Even the Brass Coast, because I had that many scarves and layers on. I had more layers and stuff on. in
Lee
the
can be
Brass Coast.
pretty light as well.
Really?
The booty shorts.
You can have booty shorts.
I'm not
that's
wearing
true.
Leaguish booty shorts, sorry.
I need to invest in something. I got some spare cash. Invest
You
in these.
definitely
You would
do.
look sensational in
Fucking
some booty shorts.
Gabriel Barossa's short shorts are
Mwah.
absolutely phenomenal.
Legs of the league.
Legs of the league, I tell you. Wow.
That's America's ass.
That's Tessaro's ass. Wherever he's from.
I think they come from Tesaro. Yeah.
Tessaro, look at that. I know my Barossa law.
You know your asses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's true.
Well, that's about all I did other than packing up and occasionally reminding Tom that we were packing up and that he should continue packing up.
Did you do that? Oh,
Yeah.
This is such a surprise
Tom,
to me.
unfortunately, is such a social butterfly that anytime anyone comes near, he just flocks to them like a jackdaw.
It doesn't help that they also flock to me.
Yeah.
to talk
Which is fine. We managed to get everything packed up
Before the
just before it started raining.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't
And,
that be a fine thing?
Yeah, maybe if you went to Moorish before time out next time.
Yeah, maybe. maybe if Senate didn't stretch
Yeah,
it out.
Senate.
Senate's fault.
I think I discovered that my hat was very contained water very well because some wonderful leaguish folks would just have this beautiful cooler from Costco,
the ice water.
and they were just offered to give you ice cold water, ice cubes in, or just pour it on your head. And there was no better feeling.
That was
than
another
just having
reason.
ice cold water tipped on your head. And it's like, at one point, I was like, you know what? Just tip it in my fucking hat.
That was another reason I gave up on the scales because I'm a big fan of just tipping water over my head when I'm too hot, especially like on events like that. And I just had to keep tipping it down my back. And then, yeah, at that point, I was just like, no, fuck the scales. Like, I am just need to be cooled down.
Put it on my head, and all these leaguers start laughing because it just perfectly stays in there. And after, over about 10 minutes, starts dribbling out.
That's so funny.
It was great. I think the only other thing I really did was I went to witness someone repaying a debt to the Reapers, just so they could say they had a witness there, which was fun. And very last minute, I think it was like the last 2 minutes of the game, our little friend Twig ran up saying,
Oh, yes, that person that I was chasing around the field all weekend because they bought a potion off me, found them at 5 minutes to time in outside the Jackdaw camp. And I said, Twig. And they were like, nope, I'm out of character. And I was like, doesn't matter, you're taking this potion now.
yeah, they come running up to me. It's like, have you got time to alight? I was like, yeah, I'll get back into neat stuff. Just put my mask on, pretend the hat's there. What? Gives me a letter. It just basically effectively said, bodyguards, please.
Is that what you guys are in downtime then, guarding Twig?
Don't think we're downtiming. It might be some game next time.
Oh, interesting.
So we might have a potential employer already lined up.
Interesting.
But whilst I remember Twig exists, just seeing that cheeky little guy smeared in blood looking absolutely horrific on the battlefield.
God, they're full of wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, they're so full.
Hence
of
why I
wolves.
was chasing them round
So full
all
of wolves.
weekend, unable to find them because they were no longer twig, they were wolf.
It was just really cool, just us marching in formation around the battlefield, taking out these Druze, and just seeing this pack of Varushkans smeared with blood, smiles crawling
Christ.
around, looking
God,
horrific.
Varushka's cool.
I really want to be a
Varushka's
Varushkan
so
boy.
cool.
That should be my next nation.
Yeah, do it.
Varushka baby.
How light can I make a Varushkan kit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I can make like a summer Varushkan kit, surely.
Yeah, a little Eastern European bikini. It was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Would I have fur nipple tassels?
Yeah.
If you had
nipple
one,
tassels.
yeah, you'd probably
Maybe.
do that.
Probably. Anyway, you're dying to talk about Senate, the last
Well,
push.
One thing happened to me before Senate happened was my good friend Sol wanted to buy some flowers off me to give to a friend. And I handed them over, just 3 stem flowers. And she was like, oh, great, thank you for these. Have you got anything to wrap them up in? And I was kind of having a look around and I couldn't find anything. And I was like, oh, I do have an idea. I think I spoke about it in the first episode, but I made a banner from the Barons, which it was basically like a rose with a golden rose with antlers either side, and then ripped. And the idea was that the bottom of the banner had been ripped off to be used as a stretcher for one of the first casualties from my unit to carry them away, and then eventually was their burial shroud. So that's what I was missing. And then every time one of my soldiers in the unit died, we took a strip of cloth off their tabard and tied it to the banner in kind of memory as like a favor from them to kind of, so we can bring them with us as we liberate the Barons. And so Sol asked me for something to put around the flowers. So I was like, I have an idea. And I took her over to the banner. Took off one of the strips because I'd made a few stories about who the banner was. This was my only chance to kind of get them out. And I took one of the strips off and I said, this was from the Circo of Agravain, who was one of the newest recruits to the company. He was 16 years old. And he died fighting alongside like one of his closest friends. And it was kind of this like yellow gold cloth smeared in blood. And I was like, and I can think of no better use for his favor than to convey a message of love, which is what the flowers were for, and we bound it up. And it was like a really nice kind of like emotional RP moment.
You know, I'm on the verge of tears today. That's so sad.
I'm so sorry.
So sad.
But we passed it over, and it was like a real nice emotional RP moment. And I was glad to get like one of the stories I'd written out about the Barons. It was really nice.
It sounds like a nice, like, natural sort of way as well. You didn't have to be like, oh, hey, did you see what my banner was about?
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah.
a nice way that you were able to put it in there.
Yeah, exactly. It felt
That's
like
what
a
she
right
said.
use for it.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I tried
You
to
ruined
resist.
a beautiful moment.
Oh, also, I actually forgot to mention this. I've got a bone to pick with one of our listeners.
That's what she said.
Which one?
They know who they are. I'm not gonna dox them on the podcast.
No, but tell us and then
I can tell
Alex,
you.
elevator music.
I can tell you. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah, you did in the van. I think.
Have I said it on the podcast?
No, you haven't said it
So
on the podcast.
they let a little message in the Dawn Discord a while ago, and they were like, "Oh, any podcasters and YouTubers in this Discord? If you want to cry, come over to the Durandal tent at some point during the event." So I went over at one point. It was time out because I hadn't been able to go in time in, and Phil was walking past. I was like, "Oh, we'll look together." And there was 2 little plaques with like dogs with wings as representing the
Oh,
Hounds
yeah,
of
you
Glory.
did tell us about this.
And on one of them was the name Morgan Shield. Because it was like, oh, cool, my name's mentioned. And then the fucking other one, you fuck, was my dog's name.
No.
Literally Bronte was written on the fucking plaque. And I was like, what?
What? Why?
Why?
I don't understand that.
Because the Hounds of Glory died. So what he'd done, he was trying to think of names to put on. He was like, oh, I've got a good idea. So he got different podcasters and their dogs' names. And put
How
them
did
on.
you find out your dog's name?
We'll just speak about the podcast.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I mentioned, they're a
Right.
listener. And they were kind of like telling me the story of how they died. I was like, you're a bastard. What the fuck is wrong?
I'd go John Wick on him.
But apparently, Morgan and Bronte died holding each other. I was like, that was very rude.
How dare you?
Am I leaving that in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can bleep out his name. You fuck, but
Okay.
no, it was really cool. It was like I kind of wish I'd seen it in character, but it was like I was like that was a quite cool moment. I was like, Sad, horrible.
I would have cried and slapped him.
I really liked.
I would have been so sad.
I really liked the. What I do like about Empire is the battles that happen in between events. Right, are statistics. Dice are being rolled, statistics being worked out, and it's all maths, right?
Nerd shit.
And then the little documents put out and stuff like that. But like people bringing like emotional RP from these things that haven't happened, that are all fictionalized, is so good. And those little stories, like I say, of Agravain dying and of these people dying in the battlefield, these fictional people that have never existed, not even in like characters haven't even existed, and having these emotional stories to play throughout, I think is a really nicely how it's done and how they've encountered.
Yeah.
Looking forward to going back to the Brock.
Oh yeah, Tristan's having some downtimes in the Brokeliand killing sentient rhubarb because I can't deal with the Barons until next season. But we'll see how that goes. But yes, so Senate. So the Empire now owns the Barons. We own more than half the little areas within the Barons, which means the territory is now ours. We don't fully control it. There's a good amount of Druge still in there, and they hold quite a few footholds.
I want a LARP hippie to just go like, dude, you can't own a place, man.
We do. Magically. Yeah, so we basically... it's now an Imperial territory. The Druge are still there. We're trying to drive them out, but it needs to be decided who gets the Barons. It's a virgin territory, and there has to be a vote as to who gets it. So there's a Senate vote for it. And Senate is usually quite a quiet affair. There's like the senators, their proxies, and a few people in the gallery. They'd moved out of Senate because Senate didn't have a roof, so it was too hot, so they moved into the academy. It felt like all of Dawn was there. Like I had my banner, we were all stood there, and like they were like, you can't go in with your banner, so I leaned it against and went in. It was packed tight with like senators, their proxies, a few other people, and their Dawn. It was just kind of there staring very intently at all the senators. And they went through a lot of motions. So many emotions. Like it was just taking forever. And we were all sitting there sweating, like fanning ourselves furiously because it was really hot in the academy. We were all a bit flustered. It was getting closer and closer to timeout. Because we were like, if it doesn't go to the Barons, shit's going to kick off. Sorry, if the Barons don't go to Dawn, it's going to kick off. But it was getting closer and closer to timeout. And if it gets announced after timeout, we can't kick off. And we were like, oh, this is getting really fucking tense. And we're all kind of bristling, taking age. We're like, when's it going to happen? Kind of murmuring. They keep having to tell people to be quiet. And then they talk about the motion. So in Senate, I don't know exactly the details, but a senator could put forth a motion of something they want to happen. They get another senator to second it, to say support it. They announce the motion, they say their case, and then it's voted on. So it all starts to gather around. The senator for Astolat has put forward the motion, reads it out, and then does a speech about why it should go to the Baron, why the Baron should go to Dawn. Pours a cup of Dawnish blood on the floor to represent the blood that's been spilled for the Barons by Dawn. And then quite a few senators speak on quite positively about it going to Dawn, including the Imperial Orcs. And there had been some talk about the Imperial Orcs getting the Barons. And it was quite an emotional moment where the senator for Scarsind, the Imperial Orc, was like, it was an orcish desire to get a new territory, but we believe this belongs to Dawn, and we will be voting on their side today. And it was like, again, really nice. Loads of people speaking in favour, saying like, we want to make sure you look after these people who are there, but you have our support. And then the person running it goes, right, has anyone actually got anything negative to say, or can we get on with the vote? And then one or is any senator puts their hand up. And the speaker goes, is it negative? And they go, oh, I can assure you it is.
The sheer brass guts of that person.
And let me tell you, when they said that, like there was a bit of jubilance amongst Dawn, and when they said that, it just went sour. And you could, that senator must have felt every Dawnish pair of eyes on them as we're all like, the fuck?
Say what?
They start talking. They say, Urzen has lost a lot. We have been dragged through stuff. We've just lost another one of our territories to the League.
We're just cheeky little guys.
But then the moment it nearly all fucking kicked off was when they went, Urzen has one army and 2 territories, and Dawn has how many? 4 armies?
Oh.
Dawn has did have 4 armies, and then one of them fought so hard to get the Barons they were all destroyed and died. And the entire fucking Senate chamber, people were drawing weapons and just surged forward. Hands like those. So there was quite a few, like there was a little group of Dawnish changelings, and we were all gathered together. And we just sped to the front like, the fucking Hounds of Glory, how dare you forget? Like screaming. Now this person probably forgot because their brain turned to soup in the heat. But when it was literally, everyone was like surging forward. They were like, silence in Senate. The egregore came down and told me off with a few other people. Just like, take a breath. And we were just like, everyone just kind of simmering with rage as we watched the vote happening. And I'm kind of looking at every single senator, like I'm going to remember every single fucking face on that floor. Every single fucking face. And then they kind of like, right, it's time for the vote. Votes in favour of the Barons going to Dawn. And all but one hand gets raised in the air. And everyone's like, yeah! Start absolutely screaming and cheering and just start shouting, the Barons for Dawn! And then time out. So we'd got it. It was ours. And then literally it was still time out, but we were marching back to the Dawn encampment with our fucking banners screaming the Barons for Dawn. There was this it was such an amazing way to end. Like this fight that's been going on since before the game started, like to get Barons back to Dawn. Massive jubilant celebration on the march back. And it was a beautiful way to end the game. It was absolutely amazing.
I really need to get one of those awesome endings to an Empire. I feel like I have an awesome weekend and it's kind of like the last hour just fizzles out.
It mostly is that a lot of the time,
Yeah.
but yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot of panic within the last hour of getting everything together as well, wasn't there? There wasn't much time for
Yeah,
game.
there was the great storm of the Empire.
That thunder or lightning, whichever the one is,
Both. It was lightning
Both of
bolts
them.
coming down impressively.
it was close. Like I wouldn't have been surprised if I was. Well, I think everybody who's ever been hit by lightning has been surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if you know what I mean. Like I'd have been like, oh, fair enough. It was
Yeah.
that close.
Me and Kerry were packing up. It's like, Tom, you need to look at me now. Focus. You see that cloud over there? It's not that bad. It will be here in an hour.
Yeah.
And I
by
was dead
God,
on
she
the
was
money.
right.
I felt like I was on a ship, like grabbing the tarp and with the wind pulling on it and
Oh,
everything.
God,
it
yeah,
was
it got so
crazy.
bad.
Oh, as soon
Yeah.
as soon as the storm came, I was like, yeah, I've got to throw on my Nietzsche pirate coat now. I've got to feel like a captain just standing in the wind looking awesome. Are we going to do a final round of best moments of the weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
God, but that was over a month ago.
Who
I
wants
can't
to start?
remember.
Chloe, do you want to start? I feel like this has been your event, how Neve has really come into her character.
I'm really glad that she's got a lot of games. She's got a lot of promising avenues. Like I've got things to be doing next event, and I'm excited for it. But I think my favourite moment, God, I don't know.
Was it the olive spread?
Yeah, it's probably the tapenade.
Tapenade.
No,
I'm glad I contributed so well to your game.
yeah, I mean the weekend just would have been shite without it.
So, sorry, Morgan's got his tapenade. You've got your sausages. Tom, what are you bringing to the table?
My loving personality.
No, the physical table.
A wet hat.
A wet hat.
They call me Wet Hat Tommy.
Sorry.
He's got a couple of coins in it, and they just slosh down. Oh,
Anyone want a drink? Just rinses it out.
that's so vile.
Sorry, no, Chloe, you're...
Carry on, Chloe.
Yeah, if I have to pick anything, it was probably the skirmish. Like I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in the skirmish, the execute, where I was like, I don't give a fuck, and then just obviously that kind of just really stapled who Neve is to a lot of the Dread Shield. So that was a cool little moment for them to see who she is. So I'd probably say that, because I mean it wasn't like her defining moment, because she's just always been like that. But it was nice for people to see that, and there was conversation and jokes and games around that after. So yeah, I'd probably say the skirmish.
Nice.
Tristan, how about you?
I've got one.
Go on then. Go
I realised as soon as I complained that it's been over a month and I couldn't remember. But actually, I really enjoyed the archery range, and I really want to do archery now. It was
Nice.
a lot of fun.
What, like actually in battle?
Maybe monstering to start off with
Okay,
and see how
yeah.
that goes. But yeah, definitely if I'm going to do combat, it's going to be archery. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing target practice.
Have you got a moment, Alex?
Many. And again, it's just trouble to pick one.
Selling your first sausage.
Selling my first
Selling your
snag.
last sausage.
Yeah.
Clean toilet?
The Portaloos were a lot better than that, to be fair. Do you know what? I think it was when we were just sat around playing dice.
Oh yeah, because we did that on the Sunday.
That was just like a chill, like the whole weekend was done, and I felt like sat in the Dread Shields camp as part of the camp, and we were just sat. I don't even know what the game was. It was Rocky and
There was a few that were teaching us this dice game on the Sunday, as some people had packed up and gone home, and we were just kind of waiting. So it wasn't quite time out, but it was near enough that some people were OC and some were IC. So yeah, playing dice. But there was a point during the battle on the Saturday, so massive little cast your mind back. But there was a point where one of the dread shields, like an arrow was coming for you and they stuck their shield out, stopped you getting hit by this arrow, and you both were like, oh, cheers. And then I was like, oh, and I shouted across because I was probably about 6 or 7 meters behind you, and I was like, oh, you cute little bromance, it's making me all jealous. And as that happened, I got shot with an arrow. And it was such a funny little thing, and I remembered it last time when we were talking about it, but I forgot to say, and I just thought, because like I don't even know, sorry to this joke, I don't even know their name. I can't remember who they are or what their
everyone's
name
got
is.
2, haven't they? So it's hard to.
I'm still learning everyone's. I'm still learning my name, for Christ's sake. But yeah, the two of you were like, oh, cheers, man. It was like really cute because he had like leant over and stopped this arrow, and I'd shouted across like, oh, stop it with your bromance. You're gonna make me jealous. I was like, you two are too cute. And as that happened, I got shot with an arrow. I was like, fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably my favourite moment. Then Chloe getting shot by an arrow.
Wow.
Tom?
This is only a very small moment, but it was like the accumulation of like a year's worth of work. It was just being in the generals meeting and swearing my allegiance to Dawn. It was like the accumulation of having to get a mercenary company together, get the resources together, find a contract, meet a general, and then finally we could be stood in that meeting declaring our loyalty to General. I don't think I got permission to say their name, but General.
That's a really long name.
I know, isn't it a great name? The Jolly Jackdaws swearing 12 to Dawn. It's like, there, we've done it. We're a mercenary company. It's been a year's worth of work. We were shitting it. We weren't going to get a physical banner. Grace did some amazing work to give us a physical banner. And we were there, and everyone fought so well on the Sunday. Yeah, just an epic moment of pride. And it was just the accumulation of my first LARP event in 2019, going from, I just want to be a line soldier in the Crimson Reapers, maybe work my way up to sergeant, to be, nope, I am now in charge of one of the largest mercenary companies in the league.
I am such a fan.
Thank you.
I love...
Would you like a letter?
It's like a coming of age story.
I love almost like the mini, like it's funny how like Nietzsche's association with Dawn started when you like were marching through Dawn, got detached from your unit, and ended up sleeping in my hayloft, and now you're swearing your allegiance to Dawn. It's a beautiful little thing.
Yeah, especially for the fact I never wanted to be a guild leader or a merchant prince. I wanted to be a line sergeant, and that was it.
And yet here you are.
Here I am. Nice little arc. Hopefully a long way to go with it.
I think that it's the same as everyone said. So many amazing moments.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, I do think it's ending the weekend with a bang, and it's that Senate session.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That sounded
You've gotta
awesome.
pick that.
Yeah.
The fucking the atmosphere of after we were done was just, and it's another one of those things in LARP where your brain forgets that you are, you live in England, you have an office job, and you whatever, don't really care about it, like that kind of thing. But then you forget all that.
I forget all that all weekend. That's
Yeah,
why I love
you are a citizen of Dawn who have won their homeland
You
back.
get so
Yeah.
immersed that
Yeah.
you just, in that moment, nothing else matters but that voice
All
right
the
there.
blood of my comrades, the things that we have done to get it were worth it. We've got our
And,
home
like, you
back.
physically feel these things as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So like when we're marching into battle and obviously like we're doing the like Navari chants and things, and I just like the pride and the rage
Yeah.
that like I feel. I'm like, I feel as if my parents, like my brother, everyone that I've ever loved and known has died, and I'm there to honor them. And like you get, I don't even know what emotion it is,
It's
but
fucked.
it builds, and it's such a good feeling.
I think it's, and I think without getting too deep into LARP, I think what's beautiful about it.
Are
is
we deep into LARP?
But no, but I mean,
No.
like you can feel those emotions that in life are hard to feel. Those things like grief and sadness and loss and stuff. Those
Joy.
things that joy.
In this economy.
Oh, that was grim. But you get to feel these emotions that you don't, and process them in a way that's kind of detached to you, right? You can process grief and the loss of people, but then you can kind of step away from that. It's not there, and you can examine how you responded to it. And I think it's beautiful in those moments where you're like, wow, like you've such jubilation. And I'm again so happy to be part of this hobby. Anyone that's listening that's not been, I cannot encourage you enough to get into it.
Yeah.
Please note it's the
Absolutely
worst
amazing.
financial decision you'll ever do.
You will be Yeah.
There's
it's-
always
Take up
something.
LARP. You'll never have money for drugs.
So last week I spoke about the publication in the Marches known as The Moon, and I described it as a tabloid.
Ooh.
Now, the writers of The Moon have got in touch. Geraldine and Constance, who apparently have a combined age of 172, have got in touch to let me know that it is, in fact, Anvil's finest parish magazine, exclusively written by octogenarian marchers who have never been to Anvil and don't know what they're talking about. But it is not a tabloid. It is a very fine parish magazine. I've been asked to correct that. And I've also been sent a little segment from it where you can find out what type of hat you are.
Ooh.
I don't know what
Ooh.
I am.
I want to know what hat.
Well, is this BuzzFeed that this type
It's a little quiz where you can find out what hat you are. So what might be fun is if we fill this out and let people know what type of hat we are when we release the episode.
Yeah.
But yes, sorry, just had to put that little correction because I was
No,
messaged in
it's
by a
fine.
very angry listener from the March.
We apologise.
And on that bombshell,
On that note, thank you very much for listening, everyone, and we'll see you in the field sometime soon.
we're not singing the song this time, John.
No.
Kerry.
Do,
You've
do, do, do.
had too much. You've had it too good for too long.
Do, do, do.
No!
Yes, Chloe.
Dear.